We are live. Hello, Credit Suite social media. Man, it's been a few weeks since I've gotten to do one of these live streams, so I am absolutely stoked to be here. My name is Carl Peterson. I'm Credit Suite's content and social media lead. As always, I have Alfredo working the virtual studio behind the scenes. He's going to be putting up relevant QR codes and dropping links in chat. So keep an eye out for that. We are live right now, so say hello. Hi, hello. Type it in chat. Drop your business name and where your business is located. I'll give you a shout out on the stream. I say this all of the time, but doing these shout outs is legitimately one of my favorite parts of doing these streams. So do not be shy. If you're coming in, drop your business name, where you're located, and you can even tell me a sentence of what you do. I love to see it. So today's topic is your 2024 business funding checklist. It's February 13th. We are already quickly moving to the middle of February. I'm just going to go ahead and say we're already there. The 13th, we might as well already be in the middle of February, right? I don't know if that's technically in the middle, but I'm going to call it. We're in the middle of February. And if you're anything like me, it usually hits around like June or July each year. And I found myself wondering where the heck the year has gone, right? It's always like one of those moments like, whoa, it's already July. So here we are, quickly approaching March, and I'm already amazed at how fast it's flying by, which, depending on where you live, you may be counting down to see that sun again, like me. But if you're a business owner or entrepreneur, sometimes moving so fast could introduce some extra anxiety into your life. There's so many things to do, always, and there's so many goals to reach. And sometimes looking at the calendar and seeing another month excuse me, another month has flown past you. It feels more like time counting down when you get further from hitting those goals and checking off those endless to-do lists. Like I said, I completely get it. One second. Like I said, live production. There's proof right there. Excuse me. So since we are already, actually, let me rephrase. Since we are only in February, does that sound a little bit better? Since we are only in February, I want to give you a checklist to make sure that you're well on that way to secure business funding or more business funding in the year 2024. This checklist is going to be for brand new businesses that need guidance on taking the correct first steps, all the way up to businesses that have been running for a long time, with cash flow and employees and multiple locations. So it doesn't matter if you're a day one startup or well into being a business owner, needing to get more funding or first time funding, whatever it is, this checklist will relate to you. And I'm certain of that. So hang with me as we go down this list that I prepared for you, and take mental notes of the things that you have taken care of or the things you need to do. And also, even if this is live right now, you can always go back on whatever platform you're watching on and check out the replay after the stream ends. So if you're driving or working out or whatever right now, don't worry if you missed something. It'll all be in the video after the stream ends. You just got to make sure to hit that follow button. The internet's a big place. I don't want you to fall into the trap I always do, where I tell myself I'll find that again later on, and then I feel like Indiana Jones tracking down some cool clip I saw hours before. So follow the page you're watching on if you haven't already. Let me catch up in chat. Let me see what's going on. Rock Limitless on YouTube. Welcome in. Limitless Building Solutions. Good to have you here. Kay Jones, I haven't been able to get any funding. Well, Kay Jones over on YouTube, it sounds like you're in the perfect place at the perfect time. Hopefully you walk away from this 2024 checklist feeling a lot more confident, and I am feeling good about what I'm about to present to everybody. So I'm glad you're here. Welcome in, Kay Jones over from YouTube. If you're just coming in right now, please, if you're a business owner, feel free to drop the name of your business, where you're located, and even drop me a line on what you do. I love to see it. Kay Jones, I hope so. I hope so too. We'll see at the end. So I think it makes the very most sense to start at the beginning, right? When you build a house, one of the first things that's done, I'm having all sorts of technical coughing, hitting the mic. What's next? Who knows? Anyways, when you build a house, one of the first things that's done is building the foundation that the house sits on. Well, not much is different when you're building a business, right? Especially a business that you want to get funding for now or in the future. So at Credit Suite, we simply call this Fundability Foundation, right? Which, just like a house, allows your business to sit securely and safely on top of it, regardless of how high that you may want to build that business credit profile. A house foundation usually consists of poured concrete, and making that poured concrete has a process and ingredients that help make it the right consistency, and it's got to be the right temperature. If you've ever poured concrete before, you know the mixing part is legitimately one of the worst steps ever in the process, if you don't have the equipment to help you along the way. Well, a fundability foundation also has ingredients and perfect temperature and the exact equipment that you need. But it obviously looks a little bit different, right? Instead of concrete, it's these things I'm about to list. So the reason that you can get denied or approved for business funding is a massive endless list, right? There's hundreds of checkpoints. But no matter what list you may be looking on to see what this list consists of approved or denied reasons, there's a few key things that never change, right? Do you have your business entity set up? Is it set up correctly? Do you have your personal and business bank accounts separate? Do you have a business address, or are you using a home address as your business address? Do you have a professional website designed? Are you using a professionally branded email address? Do you have a business phone number, or are you using just your cell phone number? This is Fundability Foundation, right? If I was to lay out everything we talk about across our entire Credit Suite online presence, this is absolutely in the top three without even second guessing. And the reason why is because it is legitimately one of the most important things you need to do and do correctly for long-term success as a business owner. It's that simple. So the absolute number one thing on this 2024 business funding checklist is making sure that your fundability foundation's in order. I mentioned at the start of the stream to keep an eye on the screen, because in chat, my man Alfredo will be dropping relevant links. Well, here's your cue to watch the chat. No need to search for it. We have it all right here for you. So if you're watching on a TV or a computer, you simply just can scan the QR code next to my head that's about to pop up in a second, and it'll take you to our Fundability Foundation mini course. And then you can also directly click the link that was just dropped in chat to take you to the same spot. It is a 3-part video series that will walk you through everything you have to know regarding your Fundability Foundation in detail. Completely free to watch, obviously. Just you got to make sure you're doing your due diligence and always setting up your business for that long-term success. It's not some crazy coincidence if you take this mini course and then start getting approved for funding, right? It's not going to be a crazy coincidence that happens. So creditsuite.com/foundation, or scan the QR code on screen, or click that link in chat, and you can be well on your way. Let's catch up in chat here. GDTV, good to see you. Let's go. Popcorn with a smiley face and a trophy and another smiley face. GDTV, I recognize that name. You're in these streams often. Thank you for being here over on YouTube. Good to see you and bringing that positivity along with you. That's great. So, moving to the second item on this checklist is having a business plan, right? You want to make sure that you have your business plan and it's updated and it's comprehensive. You want to make sure that it is properly outlining your business model and target market in detail. Very, very, very few people and things in life will just hand you money simply because you asked for it. I can't think of a single person on earth who I could walk up to right now and say, "Hey, could I have $50,000?" And they go, "For sure. How do you want it? how do you accept it?" That just isn't real life for most people. especially when it comes to lenders and business owners. So if they are able to hand the money to you, you want to make sure that you come prepared when they say, okay, but why? Why do you need that money? And they of course will ask that, right? So because they need to make sure that you're a legitimate thing. This is a legitimate reason for you to have this money. They need to make sure that it's a good investment. They need to make sure that they have a realistic possibility of getting their money back or more. A business plan is a great way to say, look, if you give me this money, here's exactly what you can expect from me. This is my business. This is why I need the money. This is why and how I can pay you back in detail, et cetera, et cetera. So the second on the checklist is creating a business plan, which immediately leads us into the third item on this checklist, which is financial projections. Oftentimes, this is part of a traditional business plan, but regardless of if you're deciding to make it its own thing or include it in your business plan as is, this has to be done, regardless of how you present it. It has to be done. So, a financial projection needs to be accurate and up to date. That's a very key word here, up to date financial statements, including things like income statements and balance sheets and cash flow statements. This all feeds back into that main, I'm legitimate, I can pay you back, and here's my numbers that all check out. This is absolutely crucial. Good to see you, Corey, coming over in from YouTube. Nice to see you here. So moving along, number 4, adaptability. Trends are cash cows. They're absolutely cash cows. Because I'm the content and social lead at Credit Suite, part of my job, frankly, requires me to be paying attention very closely to platforms like TikTok. Last year, they launched a TikTok shop addition to the app where people can sell their own products or use drop shipping tactics to sell things. Every single day, a video comes up on my feed of a TikTok shop creator saying that they are now millionaires because of a viral post they made selling their product on the TikTok shop. Every day I see that. Every single day. Of course, you can practically say anything online, but this isn't far-fetched by any means, right? Some may have a super great product. Some may be cashing in on their video going viral, whichever category that they fall into. Does it change the fact that they made their first million? No, of course not. But if they are piggybacking off of a viral video, for this example's sake, it's easy to ask from a viewer perspective, okay, now what? Right? Their one TikTok went viral, which is great now, but how does that impact sales in 6 months, if at all? So it kind of reminds me of fidget spinners back in 2015 and 16. It reminds me of hoverboards kind of in that same era. Do you remember those, right? You probably have a few in your garage collecting dust. That's where I always seem to find them these days. You can even go back to the 1950s all the way up to today with infomercials, with the call now and for this new awesome and exciting product. You look up a lot of those businesses now and you'll be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised, how many haven't even been companies that have had their doors open for the last 20 plus years. And this tangent isn't just me saying trends are terrible, because that's not the case at all. But it's me proving a point that a trend is exactly that, a trend. So when I put adaptability on this list, be in that mindset. And adaptability isn't exclusively relevant to trendy products. Adaptability applies to every industry and every business ever to exist ever. Let me take on a little history lesson. Alexander Graham Bell is credited for inventing the very first telephone in 1877, right? He co-founded a company named American Telephone and Telegraph Company in 1885. So just a few years after introducing the telephone. Today, that company is better known as AT&T, and it's valued at $120 billion. 139 years later, $120 billion. Is that because Bell made a super great phone that people still use today? No, absolutely not. You could probably barely use it then. But what he did do was he kickstarted a very long evolution of phones with a company that could adapt enough to be a household name 139 years later and be worth that much money. I'm 30 years old, and in my lifetime alone, I've seen the phone change completely around 4 different times. If you're double my age, then you probably know how to work a rotary phone in your sleep. And I don't necessarily know how to. Maybe I should take a piece of my own advice and adapt a little bit more and figure out how to do things. But regardless of if you're the forerunner of the next great hoverboard type of product trend or simply just a mom and pop construction company in a small town, adaptability helps keep companies alive long term, right? Lenders need to know whatever, wherever, however, and whenever that change comes knocking on your business door, you're able to overcome it. So be prepared for that answer with them. And also just in general, that's great advice to have to keep with you as a business owner. Sir Tunk Morris coming over from YouTube. Good to see you here as well. We're moving along. Number 5 is understanding your funding options. There's business credit, there's bank loans, there's government grants, there's angel investors, there's crowdfunding, there's tons of ways you can get funding. Know them, right? This seems like an almost silly thing to say, but if you don't know your options, then how are you ever going to get approved for them? So, number 5 on the 2024 business funding checklist is understanding what's out there and how it's relevant for your business. We have a great guide on this, which is 27 ways to get cash for your business, walks you through a very detailed view into 27 different ways you can get funding. Same as before, QR code, click the link in chat, or simply just head over to creditsuite.com/2727. You'll want to make sure to dive into that as soon as possible. It should be in chat now. Next is simply networking. Don't push this one aside. So many people do. You want to attend networking events and industry conferences, be present in online communities and be a part of a discussion, right? This can allow you to be very up to speed with what others in your industry are doing or even your area are doing, and making sure that you aren't unknowingly being left behind, which kind of loops back to that adaptability as well. Alex, the director of marketing here at Credit Suite, is always going to these marketing events around the country. And I'm always so excited to speak with him whenever he's back because of all the cool stuff he's learned during his time at the conferences, because it's oftentimes super relevant to what we do with marketing inside Credit Suite. These things are important. If you don't know, then you don't know. So make sure that your feet are deeply planted in those discussions to make sure that you're keeping pace. And additionally, networking is a fantastic way to connect with mentors and like-minded business owners, which obviously can be an incredible benefit long-term for you. And that leads us to the very last but not least item on the 2024 business funding checklist. Are you guys still with me? Last but not least is professional help. So you should always be asking yourself, obviously, am I doing everything that I can for my business? Am I doing everything I can as the business owner? There's a million things to make sure you did perfect to secure funding. Some of those are really super obvious and some are absolutely not, and incredibly complex at times. So seeking professional help should be on your checklist because it can save you time and save you money. And it ultimately could end up being the deciding factor between your doors staying opened versus closing. And professional help is exactly what Credit Suite is here for. If you're ready to take that next step in getting funding, don't even waste time. Why would you? You should have the complete confidence before you fill out that first application, right? So if you head over to creditsuite.com/consult or give us a call directly at 877-600-2487, our trained experts will get you on that path to success. Or as always, QR code, link in chat will get you there directly as well. You have your business funding checklist. Now it's time to get your funding. So reach out to us and take that very first step. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to the channel you're watching on right now, because we post content almost daily on our social media. We do these live streams just like these twice a week. So with that, I'm excited to see you on Thursday, and we look forward to hearing you hearing from you over on creditsuite.com/consult or 877 600 2487.